green data center. Until I arrived in Kenya, and when the process started, I was told, Mr. President, for us to implement this project, we need 1,000 megawatts of energy. Okay? So what does that mean? That I shut down half the country to implement this one project. Because if you have 3,000 megawatts and one project wants 1,000, so it was not possible for us to implement this $1 billion project. And there are many other investment opportunities that we are losing because we do not have enough energy. And that is why we have to be innovative. All the three programs I've just said, which are really the basic minimum for us as a country to lift ourselves, requires about $40 billion or 5 trillion Kenyan shillings. That's what we need. And that is why we have, with my team, we have sat down, we have looked at what other countries have done, what has worked elsewhere, what is best practice, and we have created a channel for us to be able to do this. We have to mobilize our own domestic resources. We have to create the correct framework for us to leverage on private money. That is why public-private partnership is a big thing. We are lucky that in Kenya we have a working capital markets ecosystem. Our Nairobi Stock Exchange is one of the best assets that we have. It was the second best stock exchange in the African continent. So we have a real tool for us to be able to leverage private sector money, both locally and globally. And that is the reason why we have set up the National Infrastructure Fund, so that we can use it to mobilize domestic resources through our mature assets like Kenya Pipeline, Safaricom and others. And already the National Infrastructure Fund, we have raised the first 100 billion using the Kenya Pipeline IPO. We will raise another 2.5, at least 2 billion in the next coming months, 2-3 months. And we will move on, and it will be possible for us to leverage that money, use private sector money, deploy using our capital markets, raise more resources from other sources, use our pension funds and others who have a lot of patient money, but they are lacking opportunities to invest. And that is why they are crowded at the treasury bills and buying bonds and what. So we're going to look at that space. And I'm very excited that very many people are coming forward who are very quiet. And they're saying, we have opportunity, we can support here. We have money to help you do this. We have resources. Just give us the right structure. We are going to invest. To be able to have these three work out, we need another 3 enablers. Number one is to up our game in science, innovation, technology, so that we can create the right caliber of people who can assist us with new knowledge on how we take our country to the next level. A country cannot develop beyond its capacity to think. Yes. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. If your thinking goes up to here, that's the end. You cannot. So, and that's why I brought this good man, Professor Shokat from IEA, to come and head our State Department for Science, Research, Innovation. Please sit down. Because we need those people. We need these people who, you know, we have a good education system, but we need a higher caliber of thinkers, people who can work with us so that they can help us do the right things. Today, I am the leader of this great nation, but I can tell you, everything I have implemented, it is not just my thoughts. I have pulled a lot of knowledge from very intelligent people who are more intelligent than me. Yeah, I've had to leverage on their intelligence to be able to drive the country forward. Because it is said, wisdom cannot, and knowledge cannot fit in one head. Yeah? One head can only accommodate so much. But people have to be gracious to say there are some things I need the help of other people for us to be able to get ourselves where we want to go, right? That's why research is going to be a very big thing. We're going to deploy more resources in research. We're going to deploy more resources in science, in technology, and we are moving in that direction. That's enabler number one, knowledge. Yes. Number two is security. You know, we are putting together a lot of resources. You will see in matter security, because we live in a very, you know, difficult neighborhood. We have all our countries around us, and we have real security issues. So we need to up our game. We need to modern technology. We are modernizing our police infrastructure. We are modernizing our defense infrastructure. We have to bring in new ways of doing things into this space. It's going to be much more intelligence-led, less about brute force, more about intelligence, more about targeting the right places. And so you will be seeing some of the areas we will be putting our resources in. And then finally, we have to reorganize our software. We need a much more patriotic nation, good people. We need to believe in ourselves. You know, you listen to some people, you think they have a spare country. They talk about Kenya as if I mean, this is our country. This is us. We must believe in ourselves. We can do it ourselves, you know? Sometimes I get amazed as to how people believe in us more than we believe in ourselves. Really? You know, I sat at this conference this week at Radisson Blu, and I listened to the country director of the World Bank talk about Kenya. I listened to one gentleman, an investor in BPO, talk about Kenya. I listened to one lady, she runs, I think, Flamingo Flower something in Naivasha, talk about Kenya. And I was amazed as to how other people think about us. They were thinking about, they're talking about how good our human capital is, how innovative our people are, how hardworking we are as a people, you know? But you listen to some of our leaders, and some others have even the audacity to say, oh, you know, we are a failed state. Really? Where? You know? And you want to be a leader in this country. You want to be a leader of a failed state. Anyway. So, good people. And I will tell this to the people of Kenya proudly. We are a great nation. We are a great people. We can do it. Let us believe in ourselves. Let us stop the negativity. Let us stop the negativity about our country. Let's project the reality of who we are, you know? And I think we need more about our patriotism, our belief in ourselves, our belief in our nation, and that is really going to make a hell lot of a difference. But slowly, I think we are getting ourselves there, slowly. There are people who are saying nothing is happening in Kenya. Today, their voices are going down because they can see something is happening in our country. And we will continue to push the limits, and I will continue to lead from the front. I will continue. So let me, I think I've been carried away a bit, but let me say this. I really needed to talk to you because you are the people who will talk about our country out there. Please project the right image of our nation. You know, let's get the right image of Kenya. Kenya is not about chaos. Kenya is not about destruction. Kenya is not about all those other things. We are a serious nation, very serious nation. And many people believe in us. Just for the record, G7 is going to have its meeting shortly. Yeah? And the chair of the G7 this year is going to be France. And they have invited Kenya to speak on behalf of this continent. That is how serious we are. So please, let us believe in ourselves. Finally, you should know with clarity that Kenya will remain firmly committed to playing its leadership role as a regional, continental, and global participant. We are proud and responsible members of the international community, and we will continue to act with purpose in shaping a more just, inclusive, and effective global order. In response to evolving global realities, we will pursue a principled and pragmatic foreign policy. We will engage partners across all regions on the basis of mutual respect and shared benefit, while remaining steadfast in advancing our sovereignty, preserving our strategic autonomy, and securing our long-term national interest. We will persist in defending multilateralism while championing the reform of multilateral institutions, including the United Nations Security Council, so that they become more representative, more responsive, and truly fit for purpose. Nairobi, as the only United Nations headquarters in the Global South, carries both prestige and responsibility. Kenya must therefore work with other countries, especially in the Global South, to ensure that their voice, perspectives, and priorities are effectively advanced in the international fora. We look forward to hosting, as I said, 2 landmark global engagements that will underscore Kenya's growing role as a convener of consequential international dialogue. In May, we will host the Africa-France Summit, the first to be held outside the Francophonie, providing a strategic platform to reframe Africa's partnership with France in trade, investment, and industrial cooperation on the basis of parity and mutual respect. In June, Kenya will also host the 11th Our Oceans Conference in Mombasa and Kilifi, the first ever on African soil, bringing together governments, civil society, and the private sector to advance marine conservation, the blue economy, climate resilience, and ocean governance, while creating real opportunities for our communities and for our economies. I expect you, dear people, to actively participate, amplify Kenya's voice, and help build momentum for our global engagements with a focus